Welcome to this webinar on IFRS 18 from Insight to Implement by InspireXT in partnership with Oracle. Again, a big thank you for everyone who's joined from different parts of the world, depending on where you're joining from. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. IFRS 18 is a very topical point right now. A lot of finance stakeholders are asking the question. The International Accounting Standards Board has announced its advent. IFRS 18 will be effective from the 1st of Jan 2027, which means accounting standards after that date will need compliance with this standard. And we have faced a few questions from CFOs, FP&A leaders that we've been talking to about how their processes will align with this standard, or how will the systems, what are the systems that need to be in place, or do they need to make any changes in the way they are uh, conducting IFRS 18 within their IFRS within their organization. So we are here to answer those questions today on this webinar, and we've got an expert panel today. So what I want to do is, without further ado, hand it over to the speakers to be able to introduce themselves. We first start with Sauteng, Dipen, and myself, and then we can get into the agenda for the webinar. So with that, I hand over to Sauteng for the introduction, please.
Thank you, Gertie. So hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sauteng, and I'm the Solutions Director for the Oracle Cloud Enterprise Performance Management, in short, EPM. And my role is to help organizations modernize their performance management processes so as to unlock operational efficiencies, deliver measurable business values through the Oracle Cloud EPM. So later on in these sessions, I'll be sharing how Oracle's technology can support you in simplifying the IFRS compliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Sauteng. Hello, everybody. I'm Dipen Shah. I'm a chartered accountant. It's been 20 years. I've been helping organization with the finance transformation journey using Oracle EPM technology. And I head the connected finance team at InspireXT. Thank you. Over to you, Kirti.
Great. Thanks, Sauteng. Thanks, Dipen, for that introduction. And I'm Kirti Patania. I'm the Regional Director for APAC for InspireXT Consulting, over here based in Singapore, from where I'm speaking, and very, very excited to be able to have this webinar today. So with that, we'll get into the agenda for the webinar. We have kept it fairly short, focusing very much around implementation and context rather than a lot of presenting or conversations. But what we're going to do is Sauteng will be presenting about Oracle and what is Oracle EPM and how it fits the bill for IFRS 18. So she'll be setting that context, and then Dipen will be giving a short demonstration around the IFRS template, IFRS 18 template, and showing the idea of the demonstration is to show you practically about how it looks within the system. And he'd also be covering the topic about why Oracle EPM is the best fit for implementing IFRS 18 within your organization. And then I'll be giving a short introduction about InspireXT and how we can handle you through this journey. So with that, I wanted to hand over to Sauteng to kick off the presentation. Over to you, Sauteng.
Thank you, Gertie. Yep. So for my session, basically, I will do a very quick recap of what is IFRS 18 and its requirement. Then I'll give an overview of the Oracle Cloud EPM, how it addresses this compliance. So safe harbor statement, I must highlight because I may be sharing some roadmap items in my presentation. So please take note, it is intended for outline our product general direction, and Oracle has the full discretions on their releases. Next. So very quickly, a recap on IFRS 18. So it's issued by IASB board to replace the IAS 1 presentation of the financial statements. And the aim is to improve the structure, the clarity, and the comparability of the financial performance reporting, especially the statement of profit and loss. So, like KP mentioned, it's effective. Reporting period is beginning 1st of January 2027, and any adoptions, early adoptions is being permitted. So the key areas includes on the left-hand side of the screen, the three defined categories in the profit and loss statement, in comprising of operating profits, investing, and financing. So this helps to group similar items together to improve the comparability of the financial statement across the companies, right? And there are two mandatory subtotal, which is the operating profit and the profit before financing and income tax. So IFRS 18 basically helps to improve the disaggregation, where it requires more detailed disclosure of the line items, especially items that has different characteristics like interest income. For example, it can falls under investing or financing. Then on the right-hand side, which is the management-defined performance measures, in short, MPMs. This requires companies to disclose the MPMs used in the public communication, like, for example, the adjusted EBITDA, right? And explain how they are being calculated and why they are being used. And it requires the reconciliations of these figures back to the subtotal listed in the IFRS, including the income tax and the non-controlling interest effect. So how can you address this compliance without too much of the disruptions to your existing systems and workflows, right? So how can you provide more clarity and transparency to your stakeholders and in the reporting? So here I'm going to introduce the Oracle Cloud Enterprise Performance Solutions to help you simplify the IFRS compliance. So in short, what at the start, what is Oracle Cloud EPM, right? So in short, it is a complete suite of cloud-based applications that helps organizations, besides compliance, also do strategize by doing planning, budgeting, forecasting, modeling, um, for their business performance across the finance and operations. Thus, the solution is agile, so it can be flexibly remodeled to meet any different reporting frameworks. For example, the existing IAS 1 and upcoming IFRS 18 and any future standard changes, as well as internal management reporting requirement. It can be adapt very quickly to the changing business requirements and compliance requirements, while reducing the risk and improving the controls to ensure the accuracies and the reconcilability of the data. So this allows it to deliver faster and more accurate insights to all the stakeholders. Just quote an examples of its agility. So we have customers that's using the solutions platform as for planning and consolidation, but they also extend it to meet their ESG reporting, where you collect raw data, emission data, leveraging the computing capability in the solutions to calculate the greenhouse gas emissions for scope 1, 2, and 3, and also satisfying the non-quantitative aspects of the social and governance data. So that's how agile the system is. And the solution is very connected. So it can easily integrate data from your ERP and your operating systems to ingest it into the EPM platform to ensure there's a consistency and accuracy as well as automation um, to eliminate any human error in the transposition, but maintaining all the audit trails, how these accounts are being mapped from your operating system GL into the reporting solutions, and how they are being adjusted, how they are being reported pre and post the standard changes. And the multi-dimensional nature of this platform also provides transparency. For example, the MPM, which Deepan will show later on. And the solutions is intelligent. So for the enterprise suite solution, we have embedded the AI and generative AI capability, which allows you to go beyond the compliance. So the AI helps customers, organizations uncover trends, automate insights, and enable predictive planning, scenario modeling, so as to drive faster and smarter decisions across the finance and operations. The solutions is 100% totally secure and scalable because the solution is hosted on the world's leading cloud infrastructure, which excels in database management, enterprise workload, high performance computing, highly scalable, with enterprise-grade security, right? So this is a well-suited platform for AI and generative AI workload. And the solution is trusted in the sense that Oracle EPM has been recognized as the market leader in the Gartner Metric Quadrant. And with over 35 years of domain expertise and best practices that's been delivered in the solution, right? So customers can, have a fast implementation, fast ROI, with the frameworks, best practices to be leveraged on. So on the right is basically sharing some of the customers, the values that customers have been enjoying using the comprehensive enterprise performance management. Next slide, please. So now let's take a closer look, how the Oracle Cloud EPM specifically helps to simplify and transform your financial reporting processes, right? So the solutions comes with a task management capability with task management dashboard. So it's more like providing a checklist for your users, especially when it comes to new compliances, new reporting requirements. So it has a checklist to allow the users as well as the controller to monitor every single steps in the close process, right, with the task management capability. And the solutions includes automations to firstly helps to bring in data, the data ingestion in from your ERP operating system into the solution. And it includes the capability to transform the data like mapping from the GL, granular line items to your um, summarized reporting requirement. And this automations helps to ensure the consistency of the data being ingested as well as the accuracy of the information. And because everybody is working on a common platform with all the necessary validations, checks, and controls included in the solutions, so it helps the users to resolve issues faster with all this real-time collaborations capability, right? And as I mentioned earlier, in the enterprise platform, we embed the AI capabilities that provides quick insights to the users. So what happens is when the data being once the data is being ingested into the solutions, you can run a quick AI insights so that the system can throw out anomalies of your trend of your data to highlight any variances, so that the users don't have to go through the reports and the data grids to identify all these anomalies. Um, so the solutions is that definitely aligns to the compliance reporting with all this with the IFRS compliance requirements that is inbuilt, but it also helps to align your compliance reporting with the management reporting, because once the data is in, you're able to address both the internal management reporting requirements as well as the statutory reporting requirement, so that the users is able to visualize, have a bit better understanding of how this data is being transformed from management reporting to the statutory reporting. And on the platform, we ensure consistency and trustworthy analytics because we ensure there's a single version of truth using the and data enterprise data management capability to ensure the synchronizations of the metadata, the structures across the different business processes within the EPM. But it also have the capabilities to ensure reconciliations, to ensure the data that it provides for your disclosure notes is, reconcile and comply with the statutory trial balances. So with that overview, I would like to hand over the floor to Dipen to go into the product demonstrations to show the capability.
Thank you, Salting. That was a fantastic start. Salting and I go long back. I think we started working back in together in 2008 or 9. All right, so I just want to set the context before I have a deep dive into the demonstration. So I've taken a hypothetical scenario here. Mr. Tan is a controller of ABC Limited. It's a Singapore-based skincare product company with a global footprint. ABC Limited has been an early adopter of IFRS reporting, and Mr. Tan and the company both are aware of the fact that IFRS 18 will be effective from 1st January 2027. With that in mind, Mr. Lee, the CFO of the company, calls Mr. Tan and asks the game plan for IFRS 18 reporting. Mr. Chan explains that the current process, it's manual. They rely on Excel spreadsheet, collaborating offline with, within the team and external teams as well. And the template breaks when they add new last moment new GLs, the account in the system, probably impacts the pivot tables, VLOOKUP, SUMIF, index formula, so on and so forth. Just to add the pain, anybody puts a last moment topside entry into the GL, increases the stress of the team because they need to go through multiple reconciliation and checks to make sure that wherever this entry is impacted, all those statements, including the notes and disclosures, are updated. It's a lot of work and a lot of pain. Mr. Tan also emphasizes on the fact that that would be a time period where we will have to produce comparative reportings. So I might have to run IS1 income statement vis-a-vis IFRS 18 income statement to produce like for like reporting, which is going to be nightmare, maintaining the two templates, etc. So that's the reason why Mr. Chan requests Mr. Lee, let's evaluate how do we automate this process. So that's the context. Now, without further ado, let's have a day in the life of a controller, see that in action in Oracle EPM solution. If you have any questions, pop them into the chat, or we can have the question answer session after the demonstration. So you can probably hold your questions until then. Okay, so now I'm going to take straight into the application. Okay, so this is how a typical Oracle EPM application would look like. Depending on your access, right, you would see various cards, icons, and menus. If you're a controller, if you're an administrator, you see many options, but as an end user, you might see only few options, few cards, and few functionality depending on your access. Right. On the left hand side, you have the announcement going. So if your system administrators would like to communicate something, they will communicate via the system itself rather sending offline messages or emails. Also, as Souting mentioned, if you have created the task list for your team or a sort of your monthly close calendar, that would start appearing here. So people will know what are the tasks due today, what are the upcoming tasks, what are the tasks running behind the schedule. Now, you will notice that I have a card here, which is IFRS 18, and that's where my process for IFRS 18 reporting starts. Before I start my IFRS 18 reporting for current month, which is P8, I want to see how I have been performing so far for the year, how I did for the month of July. So I have got a little dashboard here, which will show me the trend of how the things are working. Now, these dashboards are highly configurable. There are no scripts involved. You can just drag and drop. There's a front end to create the dashboard. So you decide what you want to display in the row, you decide what you want to display in the column, etc. And then you decide what the point of views are, the parameters you want to set, and then your data would start appearing. So let's say I want to see how am I performing from July perspective. All I need to do is just change my point of view period to July, and it will show me the July station. Now I can see that there was sudden ditch in my performance from GP perspective, so I can go and investigate that further. On top of it, if I want this dashboards are highly interactive, so I want to see how my revenue is performing, I could also see that. So I can see that there was a sudden spike in the revenue, so there must be some trends going on, etc., etc. Now, again, these dashboards are highly interactive. So, for example, right now it's just showing the number, but I don't like the numbers, right? I would like to see perhaps the chart. So, and let's say I want to do a donut chart. Now, further into that, you could actually do a further drill into it. So that's how the system works, right? So it will, the more you drill in, you'll get more information, and system will tell you where the data is coming from. You do further drill through or drill up, etc., etc. So I've seen now have been performing so far. I've seen July month's data. This is just to give you an overview of the capabilities of the system, what kind of dashboards you create. Now, what I want to do next is I want to start PH reporting. Now, before I do PH reporting, because I'm doing a live demonstration, I'm just going to run one report just to show that there is no data, and then I'll pull the data from the source system and start my reporting from that. So I'll just wait for a second for a report to pop up. I've just clicked on the balance sheet report. Once the balance sheet report pops up, it would give me, okay, for whatever reason, the balance sheet report is not coming up. Yeah, it's coming now. Okay, so I'll just wait for it and I'll show you that P8 does not have its data. And from there, I'll start the process. Okay, right, so it's month of July. Again, these reports are also highly dynamic, so you can switch between your point of view. So obviously July was the last month I must have run the report. That's why my parameter was set to July. System understand your last point of view and changes the point of view across various artifacts based on that. But you can see now August does not have data, which is P8. So next thing I want to do is start loading the data. In terms of the loading the data from the source system, you got various options. Now, you don't need to be on Oracle ERP or source system platform to use this solution. If your source system is on premises, we got option to connect using the database, direct database link, or we can use flat file integration. If your source system like NetSuite is in the cloud, we got an option where we pull the data again through a flat file, or we can have a REST API based pull, to inject the data into the system. Now, this whole process can be automated or orchestrated. It can be scheduled. So you can probably say that during my close cycle, which is workday 0 to workday 5, I want to load data from my source system at midday every single day. I can do a schedule based on that. Or if you want to do it at a more frequent level, then once a day, that is also possible. So you can just say that during the working day 0 to working day 5, I want to refresh the data, let's say every hour or every 3 hours, etc. You could also do that. On top of it, you can also run this manually on ad hoc basis, the way I did it just now. Once the data is loaded, you can also see how the data has been loaded, and it will show you a complete audit trail in terms of how the data has been transformed. It will show you the source chart of account and the target chart of account. This solution offers robust mapping, whereby you can have one-to-one mapping, one-to-many mapping, and certain times you can have also many-to-many mappings based on your requirements. It also allows you a wildcard based entry. And this is a good example of wildcard based entry. So my source accounts don't have any prefix, but my target account, as an example, has a prefix of A underscore, right? So using a wildcard, I have applied that prefix and data has been pushed accordingly. On top of it, this solution also offers multi-dimensional or multi-segment mapping. What it means is that there might be organization whereby they might have entities having different businesses. In that scenario, it might be the case that certain item, for example, interest expense or income, might hit below the line for certain entities, but for the holding company, etc., it might hit above the line. So you can also have mapping based on the entity codes or cost center codes. So you can just say that for an entity A, B, and C, interest income goes and hits the bottom line, but for entity PQR, interest income goes and hits the top line. So you decide what sort of mappings you want to implement. So I've now loaded the data. All I need to do now is just refresh my report. It is as simple as that. Once the template is deployed, once the solution is deployed, and your source data is mapped to the solution, and you start loading the data, the reports are produced automatically. So I've got few reports here, which are around balance sheet, income statement, and MPM reconciliations. I can run these reports individually, one by one, or I can also compile them in a book and generate as a book. So I'm just going to, rather running them one by one, I'm just going to run a book for the month of August, which I've just loaded the data for. And once the book is run, you'll notice that it's nicely compiling all your financial statement in a single PDF, which can hand it over to the auditors for audit purposes. It can be published for the external uses, etc. You can also, if you use an enterprise version of Oracle EPM, which something mentioned about, you can also do XBLR sort of filing. You can file it to your stock exchanges, or you can file your reports to your revenue department, so on and so forth, right? But I've just loaded the data and run the book. So this is how my balance sheet look like, the data going across. But here comes the main reporting requirements. This is my IFRS 18 income statement produced straight away. The moment I loaded the data, I can start reviewing the numbers. So the focus moves from preparing the statements to start analyzing the statements, start looking at the numbers, start thinking about, am I missing any amortization journal? Am I missing any prepaid journals? Am I missing any provisions related stuff? So that's where your shift starts, and you start analyzing the data from a statutory perspective. Moreover, it also, because of the multidimensional functionality, it also supports management reporting. So from management's point of view, you can start looking at the numbers at the product level, or SKU level, or a channel or customer, so on and so forth level. So you can see the income statement going there. Obviously, the GP remains the same, but that's where the operating profit, the standard buckets comes in, the way you were doing under IAS 1 as well. But then you'll start seeing the segregation from IFRS 18 perspective. You can see that investment income is sort of called out to generate profit before financing and income tax. And then your investing activity is going there. That gives you an option to generate income as per financing activity. Then you got your profit before tax, then the tax going on, and then that gets you to the net profit for the period. So that's what IFRS 18 reports looks like. You can also have your comparatives. System maintains the year to date and periodic and quarterly data, so on and so forth. Automatically, you decide what sort of data you want to load, whether you want to load year-to-date data, and then system calculates the periodic or quarterly. If you want to load periodic data, system calculates year-to-date or quarterly, as the case may be. On top of it, you also got your income statement running as per IAS 1. Now, as per IAS 1, if you notice, it's a condensed income statement where you don't have mandatory disclosures, and then a lot of things are thrown into the notes. But then you can also run the comparisons between these two numbers and these two reports. And at the last, you also got an example of how you run your MPM sort of a disclosures, etc. Now, this book, which I mentioned, it can also be scheduled. So let's say I want to schedule this book that, let's say, on a between working day 0 to working day 7, I want to make sure the CF1 executive receives this book automatically. You can actually schedule that as well. So the same book has been defined in a scheduler sort of a definition. I'm going to hit that very quickly just to show how it works. So let's say I've got this. I want to run it for, let's say, August very quickly. I'm going to select August, and then I'm going to select FY25. Okay, there you go. So it's been done. Now I could probably just do a quick, I can schedule it, but from demonstration perspective, I'm just going to execute it. Now I can expect in a minute or so, I start getting an email saying your reports are ready. It's been attached to my email, and I can run the PDF from that. So I'll wait for that pop-up to come. But meanwhile, let's move on to a next item. So what you saw on the front was around those reports. Those reports are again highly configurable. You decide your color combination schemes, you decide your corporate theme, you decide what corporate fonts you want to use. You can put your logos, you decide where you want to have the shadings and borders, so on and so forth. So they are highly configurable. Again, no scripts involved, everything as a front end, drag and drop. You decide what should be appearing in your rows and columns, what should be appearing in your point of view parameters, etc. And then you can design those reports. You can see now it's been generated. So I could go to my email and see my email has been generated. It's completed, etc. And here is my financial statement. So the financial statement that we generated, we can easily see that that's coming through my email as well. So it's easily been scheduled, etc. The same reporting book as well. So that's why it's very handy. You don't have to email to people. You can just generate those reports and schedule those reports. Now, what you saw on the web is not the only way you generate the reporting, because a lot of time the finance users are very Excel friendly. They prefer to do stuff in Excel because they know a lot of shortcuts. Is fast and easier. But at the same time, they also want to use the power of the application. For example, single version of truth, making sure that if a last moment entry has been posted, it's get reflected on all my all the applicable financial statements and the notes and the disclosures. Also, if there was a last moment a GL account's been created, it's been mapped to proper line items, etc. Right? So you want to use, as a finance user, you want to use the best of both worlds. You do have that option as well. Oracle EPM has a connector or an add-in for Microsoft Office, which works in Word. So let's say you are one of those users who prefer to work with Excel interface. You can still generate your report in Excel. What it means is basically there is a live connection to the application, and whatever you see on the web from data perspective, you can see it in Excel as well, and you can present the way you want to present. It does not mean that you get access to everything. The security will still work. It means you will still be able to see only the data or elements for which you have access, even through Excel interface. But obviously, using Excel, you get best of both the world, because you can use Excel-based formatting, Excel-based shortcuts, Excel-based formula, plus you get live data from the system, which makes life much easier and quite fast and handy. So I've got this Excel reporting templates also created. All it requires me to change my point of view. So I'll just change my point of view to August, the same reporting period, and it starts producing my financial statements again automatically, right? So I've got my balance sheet here. I got my IFRS 18 reports going in here. Also, if you like to notice, if you have budget and forecast, you can also load the budget and forecast in the system. You can generate your variance analysis, and you can start capturing the comments for your variance analysis as well. I have got my IS1 report. Plus, if you use cash flow reporting as well, so this solution would help you to generate your cash flow reporting as well. And on the top of it, you got your management reporting going as well. So for example, I've got net income here, which probably may not make sense from management perspective, but I want to do further dig into how this my net income is made up of. Probably I want to see how my revenue is made up of. So I could just drill into it and see that, okay, this is my revenue. And I do a click only on the revenue. And I want to see from which product is this coming from. So I just need to do a double click on that. And I could probably do a pivot on that, on my products. And I can see my products are coming in here. So from there, now I can just say that, just give me a full hierarchy of my products, and I can see how the revenue is coming from. Now, if you see, there are a lot of stuff going on here, so you can just do a smart view and then say hide the unwanted rows and columns, and just say refresh now, and you can see these are the products contributing to my data. So it's very easy from management perspective. Similar sort of an analysis you can do from cost perspective as well, right? Often what happens is you do your presentation to your board in PowerPoint, in a PowerPoint platform. Now again, same problem appears, right? So when you're just heading into the board, and if you don't have a proper controls in your source system, you will notice that somebody has just posted a topside entries or last minute entry. The number in the system is different than in your presentations live. Or again, the same sort of problem applies, or whether you are looking at the latest number or not, whether you are looking at the single version of truth or not, all those problems are there. And that's where Oracle EPM comes into the picture, where you can actually bring your numbers in PowerPoint as well, and you can probably just set your PowerPoint with the data connections, and once it is done, month on month basis, you just change your period. Just be going into your board meeting, you come here, open your DAC, just refresh that, and you're always sure that you are getting the latest data. So I've got DAC here, which talks about general expense breakup. All I need to do now is it's already been connected to the system. All I need to do is just run the refresh, and it's going to bring in data for me. There you go. And if you want to hover on that, it will also tell you the point of view where it is coming, showing the data from. So it's not that it's a static number. You can see the entire point of view where the data is coming from. So that's why the solution is very handy, very helpful to make sure you always talk to latest number. It's always giving you the latest and the best, the single version of the truth, etc. Without further ado, now I just want to quickly cover why Oracle EPM for IFRS 18. Of course, Oracle EPM always been there. It's been doing multi-GAAP reporting and IFRS reporting for ages. But why IFRS 18 itself? The reason why IFRS 18 is Oracle EPM is one of the best solutions because it has a templated solution. You have your template ready. All you need to do is just hook your chart of account to the new template, and you are up and running with IFRS 18 in no time. It will probably take you the weeks, not the months, to implement a solution like this. You can easily see here, you got your IAS reporting and IFRS 18 reporting running side by side as a template or as a solution, and you can have like-for-like comparison. On the top of it, it also supports the multi-GAAP sort of an analysis or reporting, and also allows you to do reporting, local reporting in a different GAAP, but you can do your IFRS reporting at a global or headquarter level. Some of the benefits of Oracle EPM, obviously, is IFRS and IFRS 18 compliant. Oracle EPM on premises has been there for more than 20, 25, or maybe 30 years. And the cloud has been there since 2016, 17. It's always been, IFRS and GAAP compliant and SOX compliant, so on and so forth. But with IFRS 18, it's also compliant with IFRS 18 with providing you the necessary disclosures and the reconciliations and disaggregations sort of an options available within the system. It gives you complete transparency in terms of the data. So you can see a complete audit trail from your trial balance into your reporting, and you can do back and forth how the data has been transferred, how it's been rolled up. You can do drill through and then drill back into your source system, etc. The data integration is seamless, whether you are using on premises, in the cloud. We can integrate, we can schedule, we can orchestrate. It supports management performance measures and also produces the reconciliation. So your adjusted EBITDA, your adjusted cash flow, if you're having sustainability, capital related disclosures, all those things can easily be produced and reconciled within the system. It's flexible and fully agile. So you start with IFRS 18 first, then you start doing your budgeting and forecasting, then your tax reporting, so on and so forth. And it's always compliance ready. It's a framework. It's been used across the globe with a lot of customers, even the
Thanks, Dipin.
Fortune
I think that was a
50, Fortune
great
100 customers,
demonstration.
enterprise level
Really
customers as
cool
well.
product that
So it's always compliance ready.
organizations can adopt,
Over
hit the ground running.
on that, I'll hand it over to
So
Niti. Thank you.
super well done on that demo. I just wanted to give a quick introduction of InspireXT, and then we can get into the Q&A. So InspireXT are a consulting firm that help businesses optimize their processes. We were established in 2019 in London. That's where our headquarters are. But we've got offices across the world in North America, in the Middle East, India, and now in Singapore as well. So we're really looking at getting that global experience spread out across the world. And our industry focus is primarily around manufacturing and retail. But I just want to specify that IFRS 18 is a very, very cross-cutting industry agnostic requirement. So we're very much wanting to engage with stakeholders and customers out there who need help with this. So where InspireXT excels and specializes is connecting finance with operations and supply chains, right? So we call ourselves finance experts because we have the experience of optimizing supply chains with a financial foundation to it. So, right. So um, in the slide, you can see that we understand the complete value chain, which is from new product innovation to demand supply management, right up till the CX bit. So that's how companies operate. That's how they do their everyday business. But then we have a very strong financial foundation where we understand our customers' planning and budgeting requirements, their accounting requirements, and we help them deploy that financial foundation as well. And obviously, there's a technology layer to this. So we use Oracle is our primary partner. We have a very strong partnership with them, and there are other partners also involved in this in the value that we deliver to our clients. Um, but it's very much about understanding our clients' requirements and helping them deploy optimization to their financial processes. So with that, I'd now like to get into the first of all, I want to just thank Souting and Depen as well for an excellent presentation and an excellent overview. Oh yeah, I actually missed one slide around the breadth of customers that we've actually served. So for the past, I would say 6 years, we've actually served 70 plus clients. And these are a few of the global logos that we've served. So they're um, expand and they have an expanse rights across the geography, right? So whether it's the west of the world or the east, we've catered to clients across the world. So uh, if you have any challenges that you're facing this topic, please come and reach out to us. So with that, I want to open the floor up for Q&A. I myself have a few questions, but I wanted to go into the chat where a few questions have already come in. So there's one question where uh, Rahul is asking about, you know, uh, how would we be handling holding and subsidiary company requirements? So let's say the holding and subsidiary have different main specified businesses. Um, how would we be handling roll-ups if the same account is classified as operating in subsidiary and investing in holdings? So
Yeah, that's an excellent question, Raul. Thanks for asking that. And I think this is not really IFRS 18 related problem. This problem always existed ever since we started about financial consolidation. You might have a conglomerate whose main activity is to do the investment in various businesses, but then you have these operating businesses would have in the retails and also in ITs and probably manufacturing and whatnot, right? So this problem was always there, and this is where Oracle EPM mapping mechanism comes into the play. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Within Oracle EPM, there are various ways to handle the same thing. One of the example I can give you, believe me, there are multiple ways I've solved this problem in the past through mappings to through multi-cubes through let's say automatic rules and so on and so forth, right? But one of the easiest example I give you is mapping. So through mapping, you could decide based on the entity where you want to push the data. Now, you for example, and I gave an example earlier as well. For a retail entity, you put the data for the interest income below the line, but when you consolidate through your configurable rules, you can just consolidate from that entity the interest income as above the line, and this is an example I was talking about earlier as well. So It's through mapping and through configurable rules and some of the other parameters and the functionality available within the solution.
Great.
You could easily
Thanks,
achieve
Dipen.
that. And this is something we have done plenty of times in the past. I'll be more than
Yeah,
happy to
yeah.
share
Thanks for that
more
question, actually,
details.
Ram. Feel free
If you
to
want to
keep
ping me an
posting on the
email,
chat if you
I'll be happy to share my
have
experience.
any follow-up questions. But I actually have a question for Sauting.
I, I hope
Um,
that answers your
it's
question.
actually two small questions in one question. So, Sauting, I know you mentioned that EPM as a platform can ingest data from the ERP and then provide insights and the enable FP&A stakeholders to comply with IFRS 18. So my first question is that do they need to also implement Oracle ERP alongside the solution? And my second question is, if they are implementing Oracle EPM, do they have to implement the complete Oracle EPM solution, or can they actually kickstart that in an agile way by just implementing IFRS 18 compliance?
So thank you, Gertie, for the questions. Yeah. So for the first questions about the source system, right? Um, the solutions, Oracle Cloud EPM is source system agnostic.
No, I can't.
So it can
Yep,
actually
much
brings
better.
in
Thank you.
any data from any sources. So of course, with Oracle Fusion ERP, we have a direct integrations out of the box. Um, and if with any other solutions that can be flat file, like what Deepan mentioned during the presentation, or using what we call data integrations that is also come with the solutions to help this data ingestion, as well as the next questions relating to the compulsory implementations of all the suite, all the modules. That's not true. As mentioned, its solution is very agile, right? So basically, you can start on any priority that you want first, and then you can extend further. So in this case, maybe we focus on IFRS 18 reporting, and then move on to the next priority, maybe planning, or ESG, or tax reporting, and so on. Hope that answers the
Yeah,
questions.
yeah, it totally does. And so, like, just one very important point to take away from that answer is the agility of VPN. Thank you, Sauting. Um, just another question actually for Dipin is around the industry worth of the solution, right? So do you think, I mean, you give an example of CPG, right, a skincare company, but do you think this solution also applies to other industries, let's say manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, logistics, or is this an industry-specific solution, Dipin?
Um, no, so that's again a good question, Kirti. So the solution is again the industry agnostic, which means regardless of your business, regardless of your industry, IFRS, if you're on IFRS platform already, if you're producing your reports under IFRS, or if you are going to qualify for IFRS reporting pretty soon, or you are probably preparing to file IPO or getting listed, etc., and that's why you want to do IFRS reporting and you want to adopt IFRS reporting. Under all these scenarios, you would be responsible to produce your income statement under IFRS 18, and that's the reason why, regardless of your industry, this solution would work for you. Obviously, the management reporting would be different. So that's where the multidimensional power comes into the picture. Different industry would have a different multidimensional stuff. So for CPG, as an example, I had the product or SKU, but for let's say for logistics, it might be the routes or vehicles, as the case may be, right? So for management reporting, you can add
Great,
additional dimensions for
great.
your
Thanks, Dipin,
for
for those insights.
which are relevant for the
Well, I'm
industry.
now
But
going to
otherwise, the
open up
statutory piece,
the floor
the statutory
for any more
reporting
questions if
remains
anyone has.
the standard of the
Feel free to
across
just
the
put them
industry.
in the chat and we can take them up. I'll probably give it a minute. Otherwise, we're pretty much close to the top of the hour, so it's been a power-packed presentation for one full hour. But yes, please let us know if there are any questions. Just gonna hold on for like 30 seconds for anyone to ping over any feedback, comments, and questions. Yeah, I don't think there's anything coming through yet. Yes, Myla, we'll be, thank you for the question. We'll be sharing the presentation as a follow-up with all the participants. But do reach out if you want to have a chat with us. Great. Okay. So with that, I'm now first going to take the opportunity to thank Sauting and Dipen again. And I think it's been a great few weeks of collaboration between us in preparation for this presentation, and I've really enjoyed that collaboration. And yes, we will definitely be following up this webinar with further events. We're actually planning an event in Singapore um, around around Oracle EPM as we speak, but let's more to come up, on that in the coming days. Um, but it's been a great presentation. Thank you, Dipin. Thank you, Sauting. Thank you to all the participants who have joined us from across the world. I think um, we really appreciate you taking the time. And our contact details are on the slide as well. We'll be following up with sending out the PDFs for the presentation as well as the videos. So reach out to us for any questions, or if you want to say hi, or if you want to schedule a chat with us. But for those of you who have um, a day to go through for or at work, I hope you have a splendid day ahead, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.